Now everyone's live.
All right,
Hello.
then welcome back everyone to the next session of Here Be Dragons. And who's going to be giving our recap this week? Because I think a lot of people need it,
I will.
especially Rec.
I have questions. Do I give last week's recap or do I give last 2 weeks' recap?
I mean,
Just last week's, I think, should be fine.
yeah.
If you want to give the week before,
the recap is mostly for us anyway.
Yeah,
anyone watching,
we got
just go and watch the previous
out of
video.
Dodge. That's what happened.
So I just wanted to make sure to see what we were doing. Other than do I have Aurora, I'll do last week's until I finish this sentence. Interrupt to say we can do the last 2 weeks, but it seems that no one's in. Oh, last week's it is. Last week was fairly uneventful. It was just we all finished up leaving the dungeon underneath. There was a brief little interaction with our groups, just sort of saying, "Hey, we've searched this place, we've taken what we can. There may be things we've missed, but just so you know, there may not be as much as there was before." Then we all just decided to head back to Waterdeep. There was some talk, just basically checking in with people. Some items were split. The items that Corvus found were split amongst the group. And items were identified. Well, some items were identified. We then made our ways back, and Corvus, before setting off on the second day, let everyone know that he was going to be heading into the forest. He needed to do some hunting for things, but was going to make sure to point everyone in the right direction of the road, I think specifically of the high road, I believe is what it's called, so that you could all get back to Waterdeep no problem. And that's where we left. So probably left with Corvus splitting off from the rest of the group to go to the forest, and the rest heading towards Waterdeep.
Mm.
All right. With that out of the way, let's get right back into it. I'll go ahead and say we are starting here from everyone waking up that morning, ready to leave. I think that's a fitting time in case anyone wants to do anything.
Okay.
Because we have people here who weren't here at the time.
Yes, I understand.
Mm.
I will ask. I guess best to ask now. I'm a very last-minute person. We have left in a little bag of gems a ruby and a diamond. Would you have wanted any of those, Lessla?
How much were each worth?
Each worth 50 gold.
Each worth 50 gold. Actually, I think that diamond. No, I think I have this spell that I don't think I'm ever even prepared. I don't think I've ever prepared it. My spell book. I need to see. I think I have it. I don't think I've ever prepared it. Yes, I'm taking that diamond. I'm taking that fucking diamond.
A chromatic orb.
Chromatic orb. I've had chromatic orb.
Yeah.
So it's one of my first spells. I never got a diamond for
I know
it.
It's one of the ones where you take and you go, that would be a spell I get to use later.
I was like,
okay, you have a diamond.
That's a surprise spell that will help us later.
It's a really good surprise spell.
It's a great.
You also have the brilliant diamond
And
that's faintly buzzing. That's worth 100
but
gold.
that we don't know if that is. Spell components are weird sometimes.
Yes.
That would work.
Yeah, that one would work. I think I took that one, and I don't.
You did take it because it's grayed out in my inventory.
There was some, not debate, but wondering with that rapier, because we just said you identified the rapier for the sake of simplicity.
Okay.
But we didn't know whether you would want it or Sapphire was taking it. It was a bit of. There was some that were saying that Shao said that you were looking for it, looking to have that. So we wanted to make sure that if you would take it or Sapphire would be taking it.
So I don't actually know the properties of the rapier. I
Okay,
believe it was
it is
mentioned.
it is a item it's attunement. You can activate its blade. Just is a +1 rapier. Instead of dealing a D8, deals 2d6, and on a crit, it deals an extra d6 of damage. So instead of dealing 4d6 on a crit, it deals 5d6 on a crit.
Oh,
Pretty good weapon.
it is a really good.
I did the Maz. It's roughly equivalent in damage to our daggers, except for the crit damage.
Yeah, except for the crit damage. I believe the other main thing of it is that it was made of deep crystal, was it not?
It
It is.
had a piece that was deep.
Yeah.
The hilt is made of deep crystal. The blade itself, there is no blade.
Yeah,
It is a psychic blade.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. So, just going to
Would it function as a spellcasting focus?
it because it's made
That's
of
what
deep
deep
crystal.
crystal
It
does.
would. Yes, that is
I was
the.
checking because it was only like a tiny piece. I was just making.
Yeah, it's a tiny
No,
piece, but that's the entirety
hilt
of the tiny
Didn't
piece.
specify.
Yeah.
It wasn't. It wasn't.
Is
Too,
entirely made of deep crystal.
Yeah. So
There is some binding on it, but it is entirely made of deep crystal.
I understand.
yeah.
100%.
So like, I won't argue if you want to take it because you are the rogue. Rapiers are the rogue thing, but as a deep crystal rapier, it acts as a spell casting focus and improves my spell attack, my spell save DC, and Lessla is known for at least thematically. Lessla likes using the
You
rapier.
train a lot of that rapier.
I do train a lot with my rapier.
Go for it.
Okay.
To the point that I will probably just let you have proficiency with it soon enough.
Okay.
We
Go
just
for it.
wanted to,
I
it was
typically
to
use
see
my
if you
crossbow
wanted
anyway.
it. That was the thing. It was what's it? Sapphire was like, I will take it if no one else wants it. If you wanted it, but then we're told you might want it. So we wanted to
Okay.
check.
Yeah,
All right.
and I typically use my crossbow anyway, so.
Also, technically, this thing would be much easier to wield than the actual rapier due to it
Yeah.
actually having a blade. So it probably takes some balance to get used to it.
Yeah.
Balance is totally different.
Yeah. It's like a sunblade, but not.
It's actually better than Sunblade.
It is better than sunblade.
Hey, but it's 2d6? Fuck yeah.
All right.
It's basically a my goal was to make something that was roughly equivalent to the what's the sword I'm thinking of? It's that one flame sword that everyone gets.
Tongue.
Yeah, flame tongue. Thank you.
Little.
I think it's a little
better
bit
than
better. I think it's a little bit better than
better.
flame tongue,
Yeah. If you'll excuse me, I will not be
but
making
not
this.
as insanely overpowered for level 4.
Yeah.
Cheese does want to do one thing in the morning. She wants to give the glove back to Lessla. That Lessla let her borrow.
Yeah. Assumingly coming over in the morning, Lessla.
Yeah.
Lessla, who has her glasses on by this point, as per usual, looks at you as you're giving the glove. Is your hand healed, or are you just giving back the glove?
Just giving back the glove.
Lessla looks at the glove and looks to Cheese and says, "Are you sure you don't want to keep it hidden?"
It's rather silly just to have one glove.
I can give you the other.
It's all right. I'll be okay.
Very well. And she'll take the glove back.
I'm sorry.
What are you sorry for?
About I'm always trying to warn you against recklessness, and I fell into the same trap. I'm sorry.
Lessla rubs her nose for a second, and takes a deep breath and says, I don't believe you have anything to apologize for, but I do believe that the subject as a whole requires a conversation. One that I believe is going to be very important for us going forward. But I do not believe that the middle of the wilderness is the best place to have it.
Of course.
When we get back to Waterdeep, I would like to speak with you.
I understand.
Thank you. And
Cheese gives us like curtsy.
Lessla will also less so a curtsy, more of a traditional bow, as she's was currently putting things away and doesn't have hands free at the moment.
And Cheese will go back to packing everything up. Also, Rick, fuck you. The anxiety Cheese is about. We need to talk. Fuck you.
All right. Well, as you're all getting packed up and just about ready to go, where is everyone in camp at this time?
Sure. Corvus would probably be. He's probably like one of the first up. Breakfast is all made. It's like in to-go bags. He's ready to go. Everything's packed up. He packed up mid while breakfast was cooking. You know, very. So what would be the word? Very. He multitasks. He can at a time. Because everyone's is there the grab as we're leaving, and then because he's basically last night is when he told everyone his plans. They all kind of know he's gonna direct them where they need to go. Once they head in the right direction, he'll split off.
Cheese is just finishing up taking down her tent. Stuff like that. So
Lesla's tent is going into a bag of holding.
After eating, I will be helping with packing up.
The bag of holding makes camping a lot easier. Don't have to carry it everywhere.
To exercise.
All right. Well, as you are all doing that, Corvus and Cheese, you're the ones who really could notice this. So both you roll me a perception check.
Oh, those are so fun.
First roll of the night.
Yippee.
1 second, let me rub the bad mojo out.
Dude.
I've rubbed some
Cheese,
in.
you're not really going to notice anything. You're a bit too far away.
Damn.
Yeah, you're just a bit too far away in the tents between you and the entrance to camp.
Huh.
But Corvus, you have a pretty clear line of sight, so you are going to see a group of individuals approach the camp. I'm going to go ahead and put them on the token layer.
Low whistle. It's not like loud. It's one of those things for like in the little bit quiet of a camp. It would be a little whistle. All of them would probably hear. He's looking in that direction, and Tan rests gently on his spear on his back, which you all see because he has no cloak to hide his hand. Watching the entrance to camp.
Hearing that.
Fun. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, no, hearing that, Lesla's just going to make her way over. That's all I was saying.
Cheese, her ear flicks at the at the whistle, and she turns and she kind of peeks to get a better view.
You see the same group of individuals you saw the other day inside the labyrinth.
Gonna finish up what I was packing up and go back here.
Staying about here's now.
All right. Is anyone going to greet them or address them?
It's watching to see if they make a move first.
Are they
Well-
coming to us?
Well,
or
Lessla recognizes him, so she's gonna start moving closer.
yeah. Also,
We all recognize them. We kind of met them on the
yeah.
way out.
Oh, did you all? Okay.
Yeah, we met
yes.
them.
So we met them on the way out of the labyrinth. They were coming in as we were going out.
Okay.
Your bro did not make any eye contact.
He doesn't.
Yep.
Did
He
anyone?
still isn't.
Yeah. Did anyone mention that it was her brother, or is everyone just like?
No.
Okay. So
Nobody
I
talked
think the
about
only one who maybe knows is
Cheese.
He's in Corvus.
Cheese probably has an
Yeah.
idea that they're related because lip reading. I don't remember Corvus ever.
He was definitely watching the interaction, and also because we
Corvus probably knows that they're familiar with each other.
familiar with each other at the very least. He also, because although the hair color and the pointed ears show that he was past two and two together.
Mhm.
Some people did change in a couple of years, but he's like he can confer that you know it. You're at least familiar.
Mhm.
Maybe not related, but definitely familiar.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So as Lessla moves up and greets him and says, "Are you going to stay over there? Or are you going to have a conversation at a decent distance?"
Well, it's not exactly polite to enter without an invitation.
What are you, a vampire?
No, it's actually just not polite.
Not their fae.
Yeah. Which Lessla kind of raises an eyebrow and says, "I would be. It would not be the Silverster way to deny an invitation to family."
She nods and motions for him to follow her as she very confidently strides across the bridge.
At this point,
skipping
my trap,
after her
my
is
trap
the,
goes off. It collapses. You think I didn't booby
What
trap
do I
that shit?
roll?
No,
What do I
no,
roll?
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Right after her
Something
is
might
the.
be at one point, but like I don't imagine you would do that because
I gotcha.
maybe
But,
in future,
funny
learning
as
that this may be a possibility, he might do it in future.
But no, right after the very muscular tiefling woman is the sort of red-headed elf girl. Kind of skips her way along afterwards. Followed by the rest. Nemo almost trips over some of the loose boards, but manages to relatively maintain his dignity.
Mhm.
Oh, you're gonna say composure.
He doesn't have that.
He has no composure.
Composure's for lesser.
Composure's for who?
Lesser.
Lesser people. Jesus.
But you notice that the woman in front has a very large sack slung over her shoulder.
Did we
let's-
know
Along
that
with
last
the
time, or-
also, no, that's new. The very large sword is still there though.
Yeah, she has a berserk sword, pretty much. She has
Basically.
Guts' sword.
It's a buster plate, is what we call this.
Basically.
Yes, I know us oldies from the born in the 90s that played Final Fantasy VII when it first came out. Actually,
Which is just that's all of y'all but me. I think.
anyway,
I didn't
I
have
was
the
born-
console
I was
play
born-
Final
I was
Fantasy.
born at the tail end. I don't fucking remember anything.
I've been playing video games since I was 2, so...
I'm one of them Zoomer motherfuckers.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Anyway.
but Lessla will give a curtsy to them all and says this.
Spear has, the moment they cross the bridge, of course, has drawn the spear, not menacingly, just sort of watching.
Yeah. Will curtsy to them and says, "Welcome to our encampment. What is it that you are seeking today?"
So the only one who kind of responds to the curtsy is this fellow.
Mm-hmm.
He gives a very short and curt bow. But then the woman steps forward. You weren't kidding when you said you cleared it out.
There were...
Now that she's close, you can see she is kind of covered in like burn marks.
I assume you took the trapped gold then.
She grins and throws a sack on the ground next to her. Don't think I'd have been able to take it if you hadn't cleared the rest of it for us. Figure you're entitled to your share.
Lessla will look at the gold, and her eye will quickly dash over to Nemo with a...
His clothing is a little bit tattered. Most of them is. She seems to be the one who is actually injured. Truth be told, you would be concerned if you saw this on someone, but she seems to take it in stride.
Yeah.
It's what you said, burns, mainly?
It looks like burns, yeah. Not necessarily fire related. There's no sign of scorching.
Lessla will take the gold for now and refrain from counting it as she puts it into her bag of holding to be distributed later.
So you're going to have some trouble with that. It's not just gold in there.
Okay.
There's the moment that this line has been said, your share and something like Corvus is just watching.
Yeah.
It's very clear he is serving.
Never trust a free meal. That's how Corvus is.
Never trust a free meal from people you do not know. Yeah.
This one once again is watching you, Corvus.
Yep.
I think that changes Corvus' stance from that passive stance to a slightly more aggressive.
That's fine. Lessla will look back and just gesture for Corvus.
Anyone paying attention can see her matching every move every stance Corvus takes. She matches.
Two dogs staring each other at each side of the fence.
I'm just gonna.
Corvus, go take a walk.
You know what this looks like? You know what this looks like? It looks like whenever two male praying mantises try and square up against one another.
And Sapphire.
The woman actually snickers when you say that. But very quickly regains herself and goes back to making eye contact with Corvus.
Yeah, I'm just gonna ignore that for now.
Can she still do that when I'm standing in front of the, in between the two of them?
I'm taller than you. Yes.
Are you kidding me? Both of them just lean out of the way to keep looking at each other.
I'm
at
trying.
This point,
An attempt
yes.
is made. An attempt is made.
Anyway, Lessla will, I guess, not be able to put that in the bag of holding. Well, if she'll give a short bow and say, the
bag ruptures and explode.
Yeah, we thank you for your generosity.
Hey, couldn't have gotten here without you. It's only right.
Will you be returning to Waterdeep soon, then?
Once we have a chance to rest, yeah.
Lessla will look past her over to Demo and says, "Do not forget that I requested a conversation once you return."
He nods, and the girl next to him kind of looks back and forth between the two of you. Gets this realization like, oh, and then just goes back to very happily looking at the rest of you.
Do we have all of our names? I feel like we've at least seen each other enough times to have some sort of familiarity.
As soon as you mention that, the redhead over here, she smacks her hand to her forehead. I completely forgot to do that. I'm so sorry. She holds out her hand.
I think Lessla knows their names, but
Oh, foxes.
yeah, I
don't think.
Cheese will slowly reach out her still young-looking hand.
Mm-hmm. She walks up very happily with a pep in her step and a big smile on her face. Takes it and gives it like one solid shake unless you resist.
She won't.
I'm Shatora. It's nice to meet you all.
It's a pleasure to meet you as well.
Oh, and
her name?
that's Stacy. Shatora. Shatora. Shatora.
S-H.
Look here, I spelled it right!
What's it?
Sorry.
S-H.
Tora. Or Shatori.
Satora.
Shatora.
I heard that name and had to resist laughing.
Shadow, you really need to make journal entries for them.
I will. You've only just met them properly. And she points over to the tieflings, and that's Stacy.
Well met.
Well met. Jigs.
The brooding one over there, that's Fox. And well, she doesn't like it when I give out her name without asking. Oh, and that's Nemo.
Might we have your name? She's looking over at the one in the back. You said she had, like, druid symbols on her, correct?
Yes.
She's a human?
No, she is an elf.
Gotcha.
Full or half?
What type of elf?
Hard to tell. Your guess would be wild.
Wild elf. When you say wild elf, do you mean wood elf, or do you mean actually wild elf?
Actual wild elf. Green elf
Sure.
would be what she's called.
Yes, no, I know. That is technically a distinction.
Mm-hmm.
Very rare wild elves, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
You know, every time I see an elf druid, I think to myself, man, they're in for a long fucking ride.
Yeah.
10,000 years?
Will give you such a crick in the neck.
I was going to...
But you gotta remember, they're adventurers, which means that their life is probably like 20.
Yeah, but if they make it to Archdude levels, which is, I think
That's what I'm saying. She can still die.
she can still die, but
Die at level 19.
it's really hard to stay dead at level 19.
Not
Anyway.
doing it right.
All right,
I'm just gonna put for her notes matches Corvus's energy.
well, once again, thank you all. We
So
just
Druid Girl did not give us her name. Okay.
She hasn't yet.
Yeah.
Is Cheese gonna introduce us all, or is Lessla?
Lessla will.
Okay.
You have all already met me. This here is Sapphire Eldercrow,
She'll give a slight wave and a smile.
Miss Bleu Cheese.
She gives a slight curtsy.
Oh, no.
He doesn't like when we give his name either. That's Boy.
Good.
I imagine he just growls.
Oh yeah, boys on. If he had hackles, they'd be up.
Assuming that the other three have arrived at some point, the broody elf one is Hope. The
elf one.
Purple. The purple elf is Vale, and the snow elf is Zafea.
We attract so many elves. How does this happen?
I wish I could tell you. I'm just watching this. I'm resigned to just not.
She sizes you. She sizes you up, Corvus, and then holds out a hand like for a shake. Fair trade, name for a name.
Ain't worth knowing.
Jesus' senses are tingling.
She pulls her hand back. I understand, and she gives you a nod, almost a bow, and takes a step back to stand beside Stacy.
When she does that, Corvus gives her a nod, and he's still not fully, because Corvus is never fully relaxed. But that thing of like, all right, no need to. You haven't tried anything yet. But Corvus is still like that thing of like he's not sure what their intentions
are. Stacy wraps her arm around the elf and kind of gives her a shake and side hug. She doesn't. She barely budges when she does that, which is impressive considering how strong Stacy appears to be.
It's she knows the footwork. That's enough.
Takes her a while to warm up to people, but she's a good egg.
You could say the same about this one, and she like points her thumb over at a Corvus.
Where are you headed next?
Back to Waterdeep. Where else would we go?
I don't know.
Not like we have any reason to stay out here.
Oh, you could always head to the Iceland Dale. It's nice this time of year.
No, thanks. Me and Ice, not biggest friends. I hate the cold.
I'm quite a fan of the snow.
But I am part fire, and she lights her. She puts two thumbs up, and they both ignite. She grins.
You would be useful in the mountains. It snows there quite a lot.
Thanks, I think.
We are just about finished packing up our camp here. If you wish to use this for your encampment in order to rest before you leave, feel more than welcome to.
I think I'm fine for the road. Not sure about everyone else, though.
I'm just gonna look over everyone else's just to see how like exhausted they all are.
They all seem relatively fine, if a little worse for wear. I mean, their clothes are all a little bit tattered, and like I said, Stacy seems to be covered in scars and marks.
Are you injured?
Nothing that can't be overcome. See that that gold you left behind, right above it? Yeah, it dropped rather nasty stuff, burned really, really bad. Smelled awful. That was almost worse than the burning.
I assumed it was some sort of acid.
That's what Nemo said too.
Yeah, he does seem to be quite adept at his different types of knowledges. He did spend lots of times in libraries.
Shows. But anyway, once we got it under control, Well, I was a bit worse for wear, but nothing I can't handle. Can't say it would have been the same if you hadn't cleared out the rest for us, though.
Well, how do you feel about ghouls, skeletons, shades, and
As long as I can hit them, they can die. Good enough for me.
never-ending loops?
If you're talking about the skeletons, I don't mind a fight as long as it's fun. You can see him over here kind of grimace.
That-
Yeah.
We shouldn't touch anything. There might be a fight. No.
Well, I'm sure that you are a very valuable member of your gathering. If you are that capable in combat.
I don't know why.
Oh
I
yeah,
thought-
that's why she's the boss.
Leslie just raises an eyebrow at that and says, "No, that makes sense. Considering how her family prize martial prowess, she understands. Oh, if you're really good in a fight, you'll go really far. You just need to have other things as well."
Yeah, you can see a few talismans dangling around her neck.
Well,
Nothing that you recognize, but probably serves some sort of purpose, ritualistic or
recognize-
magical.
I recognize them.
You know what? Go ahead and roll me a Arcana or History, your choice.
I am proficient in Arcana.
not 20. That's a 7.
You don't recognize.
Yeah. Are they in? You say that they're like somewhat look like they're supposed to intend to be
They
magical?
could. They look like they could be.
They could be. Is there any are the runes of any particular magic language?
Not that you're familiar with.
That's unfortunate.
You can't even really see runes on there. They just look like little talismans. Think kind of like a tiki head, sort of.
Totem.
Totem.
Yes,
It's a totem. Okay.
but they depict faces, not anything else. Just a face, a kind of nondescript face on each one.
I mean, those are still totems.
Yeah.
It's just that they're not animal totems.
Yes, that was what I meant to clarify.
All right. It's really funny that people default to animal totems when they hear totem, when animal totems is meant to signify that it's not a human totem.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, but Leslie will nod and says, "Well, if that is the case, I don't see why we can't all travel together to Waterdeep."
See, that's what I was figuring on, especially if you and Nemo have some kind of business you gotta attend to. Better get that done out of the way so we can all go home and rest in a nice soft bed. Well, those of us inclined. She looks over at the elephant woman, who, now that you get a better look at her, you're guessing she's probably half elf. But again, it's hard to tell.
She's more on the. If she is, she's more on the elf side.
Yeah, if she is, she's more on the elven side. But there are some features about her that are very distinctly not elven, at least not elves that you have experienced.
Mm-hmm. No. I'm not opposed to it. And I guess Lessla will look to the rest of the party.
I wouldn't mind.
As long as we're not going back in that crypt.
Looks
Right? Then it's settled.
Looks over to Corvus, who says
And she-
nothing.
She holds out a hand to Lessla.
Lessla will take it.
You get a very vigorous shake.
Mhm. I mean, considering that Lessla is very obviously a wizard, her handshake is not, unfirm.
No. But there is a 8-point difference between your strengths.
There's an 8-point difference, but it's only 8 and not 12.
That is true.
Right, back to setting up camp.
Yeah.
We were breaking it down.
Picking
weren't we?
everything up and then, yeah.
On the road again.
Break down, let's go.
And if you let them, they will offer to help you.
Lessla.
I don't think Corvus would agree.
Lessla.
While they offer, Corvus will. He's not fully erect, but he stands up straight and he starts basically telling them what to do.
Yeah. Lessla won't stop them.
Yeah, if they want to help, it'll speed us up. So he basically just tells them what to do.
And I see Hope is now gonna lounge and be lazy now that there are other people to help.
Where'd he go? Oh, there he is.
I mean, if you want to go and talk to Hope, you can go and talk to Hope.
I have no reason to actually talk to Hope right now.
Alright, fair enough. Shatora, however, will begin
Of course, make sure
chatting a mile a minute.
Let's make sure that she has a job.
Yeah, she is,
No talking, just
she,
work.
she is chatting with Cheese, who seems to be the most receptive to anyone so far.
I resent
What is she chatting about?
Yes.
At first, it's going to be how much she likes your clothes.
Oh, well, thank you. The cloak was actually a gift from our dear friend over there, and she'll motion to Corvus.
Oh, that's nice.
I know.
I mean, none of mine are
And then-
gifts, but I did make them myself, so I guess that counts
Oh,
for
they're
something.
lovely.
Thank you.
I don't think sewing is very much in my repertoire, but Lady Silverster helped me pick the outfit beneath, and she'll kind of show off what she's wearing underneath. I don't like most fabrics, so she let me have silk.
Silk's very hard to sew. I tried doing that, but I wound up stabbing myself a lot with the needle.
Oh, goodness.
And when you stab yourself with a needle, you tend to dye the clothes, and it just didn't work out. So I had to go with
Oh,
something a little bit
yes.
sturdier. I actually don't know what this is called.
This is why you wear thumbtacks.
Thimbles.
Thimbles.
You mean thimbles?
Sorry.
Yeah.
I call them thumbtacks because it's funny to me.
The thumbtacks you push.
I
into
know.
cardboard.
That's the point. That's why it's funny to me. Anyway.
While they are talking, Cheese is also very careful to hide her decrepit hand.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah, she will continue on along this vein. As soon as you end a subject, she will find a new subject. It does not stop her from working. So whenever you go and start working on setting up, she will do the same. She just does not break conversation to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Cheese is just like taking down her tent, making sure she has all of her bugs.
So she will ask about each and every bug.
Cheese will gladly talk about each and every bug.
And thus to take 1 hour longer to leave camp.
Not to the detriment of anything, but if she does want to see some of the bugs up close, she will take them out of their jars and show her.
Not the centipede.
She's particularly
Not the
interested.
centipede.
She is particularly interested in the lizard.
Oh, this is.
You named him. I
Well-
remember he had a name.
I can't
think
remember what his name was. I can't remember. What
I want to
his
say
name was.
Susan. I want to say Susan.
It might have been Susan.
I think it
I'll
was.
have to go back through my
I think it
notes,
was
but-
Susan. I'd have to go. What episode was that even?
I don't even know. This is Susan. She. This is. She's a very special type of bug.
She like looks in like a little kid looking at a fish tank, gets right up close and like looks in it. Does she imitate a lizard?
Sure.
She seems even more fascinated now.
It is the legendary faux lizard bug, Susan.
She's very sweet.
She looks like it.
The only one of my bugs that isn't sweet is the centipede. We don't like the centipede. I'm trying to train them to be better, but they're not having it.
No one likes the centipede.
The centipede menaces at you from inside the jar.
Hush.
I like the idea that all the bugs that Cheese has are actually extremely intelligent for their species. So, like, they completely understand the conversations. This bug has 2
For
intelligence.
Shadow to decide.
And not 1. I can't wait for one to be an eldritch being.
The centipede continues to silently menace at you.
Enjoy being such a little poot. Anyways, I think it's time we be going.
Hope largely will stay out of the way, but he will glance over at the group every so often, staying over here.
The last...
Go
ahead.
If that's like continuing, Cause is what I think. Cause might circle around. He has eye on the camp at all, because being about camps, you make it so you can keep eyes on it no matter where you are in camp. Wherever you are in camp. But he'll make his circle his way around, sort of making sure everyone's doing what they need to do, but he'll stop around Hope because he knows Hope is hanging off to the side for a while. If it's only a couple minutes. It was just like a little brief thing, but it seems like he's really staying out of the way, and to the point he's not helping the camp disassemble camp. Everything alright?
Well, everything got a lot more complicated now that those lefts are around. Remember, I can't exactly go into civilization looking like myself.
I understand that. If you be traveling, Waterdeep.
What was that?
I understand that, but I wasn't sure you were thinking of traveling to Waterdeep.
Where else would I go?
Wherever you want.
Right now, Waterdeep seems better than any place else. No place else has answers. And I ain't exactly welcome everywhere, in case you didn't figure that out.
I trust your judgment and how you decide to get into Waterdeep. As long as it doesn't cause
I just gotta play myself off as something not what I am, which isn't very hard. What do you guys want? You need something I'm assuming you want something that's eye-catching. What's gonna work best?
You got eye-catching covered. You have a 6'4" fawn with goat eyes.
What's the gender neutral term for sir/madam?
Sir.
Technically speaking, it can be sir. It doesn't necessarily matter. At least not for me.
This goes. It depends how much attention you want drawn to yourself.
I don't really care. If I get too much attention, I slip away and I become something else. Attention, yeah, can take it or leave it. It's nothing I haven't experienced before.
Get in, I'd recommend not drawing attention. Once you're
So,
in,
something unassuming then?
that is your choice to make. Simply what I recommend.
Fair enough. And you see Hope's form shift until... Oh, I put that below that. There, that's what his form becomes.
Oh,
You could probably lock the tokens together.
I can. I just accidentally moved the layer above it. The small red-headed woman takes a step forward towards you. Look okay?
Drake kind of stands up, like firms his stance a little bit.
Can you tell him to stay down?
He won't attack unless I tell him.
Oh yes, very comforting.
That is as comforting as it gets.
how are we gonna explain this to the rest of them? Because Hope was technically introduced, I think, in a
Oh.
different form.
He was.
Well,
Why do you think he said they complicated things?
Yeah, they complicated it.
Yeah.
Lessla wasn't expecting him to be like, oh, I'll switch, every hour.
This is the first time you've seen him do it.
Strange. This is all strangeness.
Who do you
Just
think
say
you're
you're
talking to?
having a. Just say. You're. I don't know. Okay, come on, Corvus, use your brain.
Just call me by a different name. How hard is that? You don't need to make a big deal out of it. I'll even let you choose if it makes that better.
I don't much care for lions.
I'll think up an alias, and I'll tell you what it is. Fair?
Glances over his shoulder at Hope. It's your choice.
Alright. I'll figure something out, and I'll figure out a way to sneak back in the other way. And no problem. Happy?
It's your choice to make.
I'll take that as a yes. It's probably the best I'm going to get.
Fails the sneak.
Push, 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 push.
But a little while, Corvus, do you let the rest of the group know that that's what Hope is doing?
Think Corvus realizes that Hope is uncertain. I think after a little bit, in everyone who's relevant heads, Corvus again taking efforts to show his mouth is covered. I believe the furthest person from me is still within 120 feet of me. You all hear in your heads, Mr. Hope has decided to sneak off and take on a new guise. Will be joining us later. Will be rejoining us later.
It's been established to Cheese that she can communicate back, right? I always have to double check.
Yes, you can whisper back.
Okay. Cheese, in a moment where Shatora is yapping away, will reply, I understand.
Also, this is the first time he's done this to Lessla, Sapphire, and Vale.
Yeah, but Lesla's fairly certain she recognizes the entrappings of the message.
The whisper in your head.
Yeah.
Vale doesn't seem to be bothered by this. You get the feeling this is something he might be used to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zarthea, it
Vale,
does,
get your ass back here! Mother!
God damn it.
I know everything.
What about Zarfeo?
Zarthea does act visibly jump a bit, but manages to quickly play it off as though she just burned her hand while messing with the fire.
You.
Lessla gets that message, and she was finishing up cleaning up her area by basically wiping away like all the magic circles that have been drawn in the dirt over the past couple of days. And she crosses her arms, and with visible confusion, as she's looking away from the camp, just whispers back is, "For what purpose?" She's visibly confused. She is actively confused at why he didn't just, pretend to be the elf.
He is under the he believes that he is not welcome in places in his normal state.
Well, yes, but he was disguised as a...
He was not. Was his Corvus, seeing a new person arriving in the camp, will begin quickly stepping up and, of course, readying his spear.
At least to me, it looked like the token was an elf, not the changeling.
Oh, it was definitely a
It
different
was.
token for.
Yeah.
So, Corvus, the small red-haired woman, waves at you and gives a knowing smile. Oops.
So he is like, his spear is not in an aggressive stance, but like that gripped stance, and it's very clear of like, look off, state your purpose, or face the spear, essentially.
As you do
but he
that,
doesn't need to pretend.
as you do that, you see a smirk. She walks right up to you and gives you the biggest hug.
Oh, goodness.
Lessla is actively trying not to laugh.
She
no one
you
has
see her wink at you. With a very smug smirk.
Oh, Cheese
No!
gets a little
Do
bit
not
red at
take
that.
off the ship!
Where did my pen go? Damn it! I need to write this down.
I would stab it into their eyes.
Not so much at you. Just like look what I did.
You
Doing
see
your
her
man.
ears kind of like
Although I
flick
think
back.
Hope isn't the first person. I think Cheese was really the first person to do that already,
Yes.
if I recall things correctly.
Yes. They've hugged a couple of times.
Okay,
Mhm.
so that verse isn't stolen.
Takes another step forward and gives Cheese a hug as well.
Oh, goodness.
Go ahead.
And whisper in your
Pat.
whispered in your ear, play along.
It's good to see you. Pat.
Core's not saying anything was the best. That's just how he is. But she's like, oh, fuck. How is the guy with negative fucking charisma a better liar?
Rick, you don't talk.
No, that's not the same thing as not being. Lying doesn't require speaking.
Please let go of me. You're squeezing me.
Oh, sorry, force of habit.
I understand.
So, what'd I miss?
Oh, not much. We went into the crypt and got some loot and now we're traveling with friends.
I can see that. Looks over to Shitora, who also seems very, very happy. And Cheese, you're paying close enough attention. You're just with your passive, you can see the life drain from this individual a little bit as they come to realize exactly who they are looking at in Shitora. But quickly cover it up. You have a feeling this is not going to be a pleasant interaction from Hope. For Hope.
Cheese does place a gentle hand on their on Hope's shoulder.
But I will dispense with the rest of that interaction since I do not wish to RP with myself.
I was going to rescue you by Lessla seeing all this happening, and just say, if you're done fooling around here, you still need to clean up your tent.
We should get moving.
Right.
Yes.
Sorry. But Chitora, now seeing a new person who seems very friendly, will begin bothering her instead of Cheese.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Shitora, I could actually use a little bit more help over here.
Cheese puts a hand on Cheese's shoulder and says this. No, you're fine, Cheese. Let Shitora help her.
No, okay.
Oh, you can see just glaring daggers at you.
Cheese will just look over to Hope and just mouth, I'm sorry.
Don't fuck with goddamn shapeshifters. They can fuck with you in ways you can't imagine.
Not in any way that Lessla cares about.
Say that now.
You're saying that now. That sounds like
you
a
are
challenge for Shadow.
This is called hubris.
It is called hubris,
yeah,
and Lessla is the
they will
epitome.
go off and begin tearing down one of the tents.
At which point, when they're doing that, Lessla will just say, "And that's payback for going off on her own."
You can very hear a very loud discussion about all things feminine coming from over here.
Mm-hmm.
I see.
Shitora more than once comments on how cute this individual is.
No.
Lessla is having the Raven fly around so that if Hope introduces this persona's new name, that she'll know what it is, so that she can tell everyone else, so that we don't have to go, "Hey, what's your name again?"
Yeah. That's why Corvus wasn't saying anything. He realized, okay, Hope's trying to play that we know each other. He didn't want to be like,
See?
because
Cheese had the right move, you fuckwits.
Oh, Corvus. What do you mean? Corvus was also playing.
Don't underestimate me.
Oh, Corvus is playing his role perfectly. Anyway, once the camp is early all settled, Corvus basically unceremoniously starts just leading the horse, and we hoping everyone catches up.
But Hope would introduce this persona as Ariel.
Ariel, okay.
Ariel.
Yes, spelled just like Little Mermaid.
Yeah,
And here I was about to make a pun about like, did she run away from Daddy just so like?
I knew you were.
She's an adventurer.
Most adventurers that are young are either running away from their parents in some form or another, or they don't have parents.
I was about to
all
say,
the edgy roads.
what about Corvus? He's not an orphan.
Corvus is old, though.
Not that old.
He's older than the usual teenage adventurer that is in D&D.
Sapphire is also an adult.
You're the only teenager.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, I
Ale
guess
is-
Zarfea technically
Ale-
counts.
She's an
Zarfea's
elf
also an elf.
teenager.
She barely counts.
Ale's also an elf
Barely
teenager.
counts.
Not as much as Zarfea is.
Yeah, I know, but he's still technically.
Oh, Mary, when you get the chance, you should look at the stream.
Oh Christ! I don't even have, bro. I don't even remember the last time I pulled up Twitch.
Yeah, I understand. Well, I'm just saying you should look at it
Oh dear Lord.
because
Yeah.
I hate this thing that I have.
Kitty.
It looks like my parents' cat. Rek, how did you get my parents' cat? What the fuck did you do with my parents' cat?
Better question is, what the fuck did you do with her, with Marin's parents?
You don't want to know that. Anyway,
Oh dear
No
God!
reasons I can't say.
Finally. Oh.
but yeah, going forward,
Yeah,
are we getting
yes.
ready to
Moving
go?
on.
Moving on. Can we move? Can we leave camp now?
Yes.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Again, at a certain point, Corvus parts of the group and detaches.
Corvus established last session that he was going to go hunting. Rek.
Okay.
I would have gone with him, but personal plans have changed.
Cheese understands his need to be alone.
To get materials.
Yeah.
Check on the homestead.
Yep.
Yeah. If that is the case, we will just go ahead and unless there's anything y'all want to do on your journey, it will be rather uneventful.
I think less.
Cheese?
Oh, so the
Go for
goblins
it.
aren't going to come back to attack?
Thank Christ.
They do not show up, no.
All right. So I was just gonna say, I think Lessla would take this opportunity to have her conversation with Nemo since they are traveling together.
Mm-hmm. Also, anytime Hope is alone with any of you, he does complain about, and I quote, that ditz.
I'm not
She's
sorry.
just friendly.
She does seem fairly excitable.
It's that thing of like. Corvus has a fairly unreadable face. Whenever he complains to Corvus, because I imagine he might complain to Corvus, because Corvus is probably the furthest from the group when he travels, because he always stands at least 10 feet in front or 10 feet behind everyone else. It is essentially not a unwavering unsympathy, but at the same time, it's kind of like you chose this, knowing that personality kind of existed. Oh,
You made
it's
your bed, now you lie in
you
it.
made your bed, now lie in it.
Yes, that's what Lessla did. Is
Yeah.
you did this to yourself.
You get many angry stares from Hope, but there is no attempt to make you pay for that statement.
Yet.
Hope doesn't really say that out to Hope, but it's sort of that feel of just like, oh, you chose this. You know, just that's essentially the long and short.
All right.
The Sapphire's main
let's,
comment is she does seem like the excitable sort.
But yes, Lessla wanted to have a conversation with Nemo.
Yeah.
You'll definitely be able to find some time to chat with him.
Yeah. Assuming that they do, that this is a conversation that Lessla would have a good distance away because she's not fully aware of how much detail Nemo has given on what their relationship was before Waterdeep. So respecting his privacy, and she will have the conversation away from prying ears, i.e. the massive passive perception that is Cheese.
Risky.
Although I have a feeling that Cheese knows exactly where they are in the forest.
You'll never know.
You're
Who
right.
knows
I
what
won't.
Cheese knows?
That's why the Raven's keeping an eye on you. The Raven that speaks Sylvan. So Anyway, but I wasn't expecting us to have this conversation this soon, brother.
I wasn't either.
Yes, and I apologize if it seemed my wanting to have a conversation you may have seemed cryptic, but I am going over the different things in my life with a fresh perspective recently. And I guess the one thing that I need to ask you is, in your eyes, how do you see me?
That's a very challenging question. Well, I mean, you were never really cruel, or no one in the family was especially present in my life. But I guess you were the only one who wasn't unpleasant when you were. I've never really thought about it before. In spite of you being my sister, perhaps I don't really know you that well.
Despite what Edward would say, or believe, you were probably the one of our siblings that I was decently close to, at least until we were around 12 or 13 for fairly obvious reasons.
Nods.
Do I seem like a good person to you?
Well, certainly you do.
Why is that? Why do you see me as good?
That's a very hard question to answer. For anyone.
Well, to tell you the truth, I don't see myself as a good person. Everything I see myself as someone who seeks to control everything in my life, and damn the consequences, and damn those that are unwilling to accommodate that. At least that's what I thought. That's how I made my decisions.
Well, you've found a group that seems willing to accept that.
They aren't.
I see.
I have found myself making decisions that are contrary to the nature I believe I had. I find myself asking, what would you do?
Well, I'm flattered, I guess.
You see, because outside of my immediate vicinity when we were being raised, you were really the only person that honestly stood out. I could ask myself what our other brothers could do, but Edwick is honestly, he is ruled by his fear. And our other brother, he is, well, I didn't actually know him very well due to his self-imposed exile into the knightly order he joined. So, it came to wondering what it meant to be a good person. I defaulted to you as much as the deeds of our father portray him as a great person, heroic, law-abiding, and principled. What I've known him as is cold. I'm sure that's the same for you.
He nods. I will be right back. I'm sorry.
Alright. At which point, Lessla starts rambling. Ba, 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 ba. How are you, Marin?
How am I?
Yes, how are you?
I am exhausted, but I'm all right. I've been working my tail off.
Hmm.
I have not had a day off since last Wednesday.
Yeah.
I've been helping my dad move, and then like my actual job, and then I technically picked up a third job. I'm just like cleaning house in between Airbnb guests for my boss. It's extra pay, so.
Hmm.
And I've been working like a motherfucker. Well, really today I've been working like a motherfucker on Art Fight. I got 2 attacks done, and I'm going to be working on a third in just a bit. I'm also rewatching Avatar: The Last Airbender.
That's rough, buddy.
I'm almost done with season 1.
Honestly, I think season 1 of Atla is actually the weakest.
It's it
it's
is.
so
It is
hard.
definitely the
It is
weakest,
hard to
but-
get through like the first 6 or 7 episodes.
Bro, I'm watching it with Justice, who's never watched it before.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, okay, we're skipping the Great Divide, by the way.
Is that the Kyoshi arc? The one?
No, the Great Divide is like whenever those two like they're having to take the 2 like rival refugee tribes like through a canyon or something. Yeah, I was like, we're gonna skip this one because it. But we've watched everything else. We have 3 episodes left, so basically just everything that happens in the North Pole Water Tribe. Oh, and I did send you cheese on Toy House.
Yep, I saw that.
Welcome back, Harume. Shadow had to leave.
Yeah, Shadow had to
I
leave.
didn't miss anything.
No,
Just a little bit, but
just
not too much.
yeah, just a little bit of Lessla pondering. No, not pontificating. It's definitely not pontificating.
I feel like I need to make a new reference for cheese. Her outfit. She has
Said it
changed
like
so
like
much.
5 times.
I know, but then I always get distracted by something else.
Yeah. My thing is I generally do not. I like. I think it's gradual changes to my character. Very rarely are they block changes.
Yeah.
Character design doesn't change.
I mean,
I think I'm like with Corvus. Like I don't think his character design might not change. First level to level 20 at all.
He lost his cloak.
yeah,
He's getting it
That's a
back.
big
he's getting
change.
he's
Return
getting a
to
new one.
status quo.
You are getting a new
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
The
gonna
other
be
thing is, like,
exactly the
The other thing
same
is like it's gonna be it's gonna be better.
because
You do have a new shirt. Cheese got you a new shirt.
Shirt, but it's still similar colorations and
Yeah.
stuff. So it's one of those things that just his design won't change much. The only thing is like depending on how much time passes, his hair and beard will grow longer.
for I guess if we're talking about like character design changes, we're getting you to the point. Actually, Corvus won't change much, I don't believe, because that's that's why he has the wolf cloak. But Lesla's overall character design will change a lot once she switches to wearing winter wear.
I have plans for each of the seasons for Cheese's clothes. Whenever we get back to Waterdeep, she needs to get
all year
into her fall outfit. I'm really excited to draw Cheese's fall outfit.
Well, it's already fall.
Yeah,
I know, it's just she hasn't gotten a chance to
mid-
get it yet.
That's fair.
mid-fall or
It's
I don't
late
know which
fall,
month.
I think.
I know we're in the autumn. I can't
calendar
remember the
is pinned.
first.
It's about to be Halloween.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's about
Which
to be
we still need to get the squashes and such ready, and
Yeah,
a
stuff.
plan of action.
What we need to do is create a plan of action to deal with the cult.
Well, our task is to do it
Bro.
during Liar's Night, so we have to also partake in the festivities. So we need to get the squashes, get the disguises, and come up with a game plan. All in 3 days or something. I don't know.
We got a little longer than.
Okay,
It'll be
all
like
5 days.
two weeks.
It's the 25th today. It's the 25th today.
Okay, when is it?
We got 5 days.
5 days. Okay. I mean, 5 days is a long time to come up with a
Course has
plan.
gone for about 2 of them. You'll be arriving after travel. We're using the standard travel. We left in the we were meant to leave in the morning, but they took us probably. So it's gonna be. We probably left closer to noon. It's gonna be. You're gonna be
I
arriving
will
in the evening
return
time.
shortly.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll be arriving in the evening time of the 25th. Of course, we'll be arriving probably sometime on the 27th. Then you have 28th, 29th, and 30th day. Get things sorted, and then the night is last night.
Mhm.
Everyone right? Main party. +1.
Meanwhile, this is a good time to reread my backstory because I can never remember the second brother's name.
Is Edwin.
No, Edwick is the
No,
older.
that's what I'm saying. It's Edwick and Edwin.
Clearly, the dad was lazy.
And the dad is Edward.
No, the dad is not Edward.
Dad is lazy and full of himself.
He is a noble.
That's a fair point.
He is a made noble. He's not an inherited noble.
So he became
worse.
lazy and full of himself.
Even worse.
Right. I forgot that I made a GM version and a outward-facing version for my backstory.
Yeah.
Okay, so sorry about that, guys.
That's fine.
No, you're fine.
Okay.
Where were we leaving off?
I was saying something about about talking about the different people she could have used as role models for a quote unquote good person, and how she could have used their second brother, but she honestly doesn't know much about him, considering he's a
Right.
He put himself self-imposed exile. Edwick is ruled by his fear, and their father is cold.
Right. Please continue.
And I'll be honest. Right, and then after that, he said, "Yeah, it's not that my compatriots allow for someone with my mentality, it's that I've had to actively change how it is that I think in order to cooperate with them properly." And it's forced me to look at things from a different perspective.
In all honesty, it's been very eye-opening to travel with the others. I've never met someone quite as open as Stacy is, or Shator for that matter, or someone quite as closed off as Willow. No, don't tell her I said that.
She'd probably take it as a compliment if she's anything like...
No, don't tell her that I told you her name. She takes that very seriously.
As someone who was raised in the wild, more than likely, she's dealt with her fair share of fae.
It's possible.
Considering that that Miss Cheese, the one I travel with, is quite always warning us about giving our names to unknown creatures, I imagine she has taken that to a little more extreme.
That would make sense. But I'll wait for her to come clean of her own accord.
I'll be honest, Nemo. I don't know if I can return to the mindset I had before. Especially now. That, as she gestures to her head, is I'm carrying two people in my head.
You're... What?
Oh. I may have freed a soul imprisoned in a demi-lich, and it now inhabits my body.
You need to change A to a few.
Well,
One.
there's only one in the body right now. I don't know what's going to happen with the other two.
Well, you did say you had a few in your head.
Then one.
I said what? I said more. I said two. I said two in my head. Myself and the other.
You... What?
It's... Well, it's... So... You know about Shun the Seventh, correct? I assume that you did your history.
Oh, God.
So, turns out, he attacked some people some 1,000 years ago, and swapped his soul with a person, and then trapped that soul that he swapped with into a demi-lich, and then imprisoned the demi-lich into the Book of the Unicorn.
The what?
Evil artifact. It's destroyed. Don't worry about it.
I feel like he's gonna worry about it. He sounds like
Lessla,
he's worrying about it.
perhaps the less I know, the better.
Anyway, but Zalnora, the soul that was trapped inside the Demi-Lich, I managed to pull the soul out of the Demi-Lich using a phylactery that I managed to get my hands on.
I'm sorry. The less I know, the better. Continues with explanation.
This is the most Lessla thing.
It is the most Lessla thing.
Lessla, just
Please.
come to the point.
Anyway, I believe that the slight mixing of our memories that I've felt so far is actively changing how I perceive problems. I am not 100% certain now, but I feel more likely to help people for no reason. And I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing.
Are you sure the other person in there is responsible for that?
I don't. I'm not. I don't. Everything is confusing, and that infuriates me, honestly.
I think it's possible that you're just finally understanding that home wasn't exactly normal.
Well, I don't think being nobles had anything to help with, but considering that my nature is completely different than what I thought it was, I don't think I helped things. I think Father was torn between his duty and his responsibilities. Now that I look back on it, maybe him being cold to us was his way of compromise. The stories I heard the deeds that are attributed to him do not match the personality that he has shown to us. And I honestly, I'm trying to figure out how to I'm trying to figure out what has been caused by my nature and what is as it is.
I don't know the answer for you.
I suppose you wouldn't, but I believe that I have developed a new goal, but I don't know how to go about it. And I think you are the best person to help me realize it.
And how would you like me to do that?
I believe...
Sorry, my voice caught in my throat there.
That's understandable. I think Nemo's would as well, considering that it's, Lessla saying, hey, I need your help.
Yeah, no, it was fitting.
Well, I wish to become the ideal Silverster.
And it was at that point the secret left plate went off.
What?
Ignore the GM.
What? Okay. And I believe, I truly do, that you may be the best way to achieve that. I believe that under different circumstances, the Silverster house could become much stronger, and your membership in it would not be as detrimental to everything as it were.
I don't know if I'm the best person to ask about that, Lessla.
Of all the children of the Silverster house, only you and I realistically understand the lifestyle that father led before he was a noble. And I believe that there is a path that we can take that would lead you to being openly accepted as a child of the Silverster house. It is a bit risky, though.
Lessla, I don't have any desire to return to that house.
I know you don't have a desire to return to the house, but I have a desire to see you accepted as my brother.
He is quiet for a very long time after that. Go ahead and just roll me a d20, Lessla.
I love rolling random d20s. Can't wait for it to be another nat 20. That's a 2. I'm missing a 0.
Okay.
Do you see how, so if you have virtual dice on, do you see how close that was to a 20?
No, I don't have virtual dice on. But anyway. That means a great deal, Lessla. Thank you. But I really don't care if anyone else accepts me as long as those I care for do.
All right. Well, either way, I believe that if I can become the ideal Silverster, it may open up avenues of approach for me to get out of the obligations I currently have.
Becoming the ideal member of our family, I'm not sure that's going to end the way you think it will.
Well, then I will simply change the world to where it will. As unsimplistic as
You're
that endeavor probably
Still
is.
very confident in yourself, sister.
At which point, Lessla kind of drops her mask and says, "If I don't act confident, then I will be buried by the weight of the things that I wish weren't true." I wish that my betrothal was not set in as sturdy a stone as it was. I wish that the Silverster family was not quite so against the strength of the arcane. I wish that Father could see us still being strong members of our family, even if it is not in the physical strength that our brothers or sisters wield. And I wish that all the effort that I thought I put into magic didn't feel like it wasn't worth anything anymore. But that is the weight of my burdens, and if I drop this bravado that I've developed over my years of being an outcast, I feel like it would crush me.
Then why don't you let me lend you a hand, sister?
Because I don't know how to take help from others. I've been doing so many things on my own for so long that when other people help me, I suspect them of having ulterior motives, even the people that I want to trust. And I'm getting better at trusting. But I am a reckless person, and I don't know when to stop pushing. Because I'm afraid that if I do stop, I won't be able to start again.
Maybe it's time you explain that to more than just me.
I'm doing my best.
You want to trust, don't you?
I do. But,
I think this is your first step.
possibly, but I think I need to wait a little longer. I've been trying to find the right words to say, but every time I write some down, it just feels like I'm making excuses. And I refuse to make excuses. I refuse to do anything that I perceive as hypocritical. But it doesn't seem to stop me from making those mistakes anyway.
In my experience, a discussion like that comes off much better when spoken from the heart rather than from the paper.
And how many times have you poured your heart out to someone, Nemo? I'm actually quite curious.
Well, the entirety of it, truthfully, well, very seldom. But I speak plainly with you now.
Well,
And it seems you've taken it to heart. And I'm very glad for that.
I'm afraid to lose the things that I have currently. And I don't think I've ever felt this fear before. I certainly didn't feel fear when I was fighting Edward all those years ago. No. I felt pain, but not fear. But you are
You care for them very deeply, I can tell.
I cannot say I disagree.
Then I would simply tell them the truth.
I will take it under advisement. But it is so very hard to drop the veil of bravado in front of people that I've tried to keep it up for so long. The only reason it's easy with you is because you knew me before the bravado. Before the magic, before the ability to change things into what I wish they were. But even now, that doesn't seem like much.
A friend of mine told me that whatever my accomplishments may be, however small they may seem, they are my accomplishments. And so long as I strive to better them, that's better than many people will do. I don't know if I really understand his words just yet, or see the truth in them. They are at least comforting.
I don't know if the accomplishments I've made are mine. You see, Nemo,
Do you seek to better them?
I'm trying to figure that out. You see, I've learned some information about myself that makes me question whether the magic I wield is even mine. And honestly, it's disheartening if it isn't. But I would require far more time to go into every detail of that. And I believe that if we are gone any longer, your tiefling companion may start making jokes at our expense.
She likely would, yes. But Lessla, whatever abilities you have, I don't see someone else standing there and wielding them masterfully. I see my sister standing and wielding them masterfully.
But what I was proud of was not the ability to wield them, you know. It was my ability to cultivate them so quickly. That is...
I've learned my alchemy from books that so many people have no access to. And because of that, I learned very quickly.
Yes.
Maybe I do understand what my friend had to say then.
Oh. Well, maybe I need more time to learn.
I'm sure you will in time. I'm still learning myself. It may sound ridiculous, I've had more time to do it than you have.
Well,
I've known Fox for, well, since before I left home.
is he the one that encouraged you to leave?
Not directly. But he is much the reason I came to that decision.
When you get the chance, make sure you send a letter to your mother.
If I knew how to, Lessla, I might strongly consider it.
Well, just remember, brother, your never-ending optimism is always a light at the end of a tunnel.
Maybe I'll find a way someday then.
We shall see. And Lessla will turn and start walking back towards the others.
Nemo will do the same.
Definitely not having character development while no one's watching.
Just have to have characters.
Exactly.
But unless there's anything anyone else wishes to do,
I kind
You-
of do. I think
Okay.
that's what we're
Yeah.
doing. Because I am going to be gone for a while in the city. I don't know how we want to handle that. We're just going to jump to Liar's Night, or we're going to...
there will be some
Exactly.
things going on, and if you wish to do things, then I can accommodate that.
Yeah, it's just,
But I do not
wanted to
have
know.
much planned between now and then.
Yeah, because Corvus is going to be in the forest for a couple of days.
Planning. Planning is what we need to do.
I don't even
Main
know
thing,
what the fuck
I
they're
guess,
doing.
was just like, one, how well does Corvus' hunting go? Will he be able to get enough materials to be able to exchange for a cloak? 2, because it is the place where Corvus is lax, would also like to try and either enter the inner world, or even not, if not just the inner world, the gate again.
Okay. Let me think about that. for when you get to that point. And I'll probably have an answer for you next session.
Okay.
Mm.
I just wanted to, because I was like, I'm going to be in the forest for 2 days. While everyone else is in the city. I kind of want to. If there's going to be tasks and stuff, I kind of don't want to be like just sitting, doing nothing for a session. I just kind of want to see what's the plan.
Yeah, no, I understand.
The inverse. I don't want to be sitting, being the only one. For...
But if that is everything, then you all will arrive in Waterdeep without any further issue.
Okay.
Nice.
Alright.
I was half expecting goblins.
Mm-hmm.
No, the goblins do not make a return. You seem to have put the fear of God into them the first time.
You
And
forget I asked that about that like an hour ago.
you know, sometimes I just don't pay attention to you, Hermie.
It's
Okay. Throughout the course of the journey, we didn't learn the druid's name, other than Lessla accidentally getting it. She never revealed it herself.
No.
That depends on whether or not any of you decide to try and talk to her.
Tease would have tried to attempt to make relatively friendly conversation with all of them.
Okay.
Should time allow. Just like general, like, hello, how are
You
you
know what?
today?
Go ahead and roll me a. We'll say this is persuasion,
Oh, okay.
just to see how good you do.
How's this? An
You will
8
have
sound?
advantage. You will have advantage because cheese is
Oh, okay.
cheese.
Also,
Cheese is cheese and druid is druid.
That's a little better. How's a 17 sound?
Okay. So
Literally.
you will learn that she goes by Willow Song.
Willow Song.
oh,
Mhm.
one word or
She would have
two or
commented
hyphenated?
It's one word.
that. Cheese will have commented that that is a spectacularly beautiful name.
She would kind of shrug at that.
Yeah, that's all that I wanted to do. Unless in her conversation she figured anything else out from anybody else.
No one else is really has anything to figure out,
No one
or at
is
least nothing
interested
that she
in
would be able
Cheese's
to.
bug collection.
I imagine I would try for small talk with all of them at some point. But just
Yeah.
like
If you get
normal small
Stacy
talk.
when she is drunk enough, she might be interested in the bug
Oh
collection.
lord.
Traveling, so drinking.
Yeah. If I mean how many people try and figure out
Stacy will get particularly drunk the first night.
how many people ask Nemo why Leslie keeps talking to him?
Not my best. I think Corvus' whole thing would be like, if he's approached, he will be cordial, but other than... So let's say if them talk to him. A couple might try, but I don't... Do you...
On to Waterdeep we go.
I will
Unless
give
anything else
people the
happens.
opportunity to notice things about them.
Yay!
Everyone can roll me a perception check, I guess.
Okay.
Yippee!
Okay, please, dice gods. I
Oh,
wanna know
fuck
this
me
thing.
sideways.
Did you roll that
Yes! Dice gods! Thank
Oh,
you,
I
dice
rolled a
gods.
nat
one?
one.
I always forget I only have a +1. Ooh.
Well,
Lessla and I are blind.
Well, Leslie, doesn't actually particularly care.
so Sapphire is the only one who notices everything, and Sapphire notices a lot.
Yay!
So
I'm ready to try.
for Stacy, every night prior towards actually heading into her tent, she will sort of take each of her totems, close her eyes, and mutter something to herself while holding each one in her hand individually, before she will go to bed. for Nemo, you notice that Nemo is... He's very cautious around most people, and very timid around most people. The person he is timid around the most, with the exception of Lessla, is Willow.
Is most timid.
Willow,
Hang
for her
on.
part...
Lessla is Willow. Okay, Willow. I'm
Willow for her part, is very reverent of the campfire.
Oh, right.
I know what you are. Sorry.
Well, Shadow told us a while ago.
Hmm.
And him mentioning that just reminded me. Oh, right.
Shatora, you don't really notice anything about her.
Okay.
She seems to be an open book.
I notice everything about her.
It's too much.
Lastly, for Fox, for him, you notice that while he gives off a very similar impression as you yourself do. Similar background, similar standing. But when you look really closely, he conducts himself a lot more like Lessla on the little things.
Okay.
It's almost like he is trying to suppress that.
Interesting.
Also, more than anyone else, it takes him a while to wake up in the morning.
Hell yeah!
He'll be squinting a lot more and more agitated first thing in the morning. Although he does a good job of concealing it and not letting it get to him. But
I think that's the case. That's if we do have camp and courses there back first camp, Drake does do wake up calls for anyone wants to sleep after a certain time. Just
no, it's not so much that he doesn't get up. It's that he does, but he's not at 100 for a little while.
So he's a lot more squinty and more irritable?
A lot more squinty, and yeah, that's actually, basically.
A bit more...
Although he doesn't snap at people. He just keeps to himself.
He just kind of stares at them, like, not until I have my coffee.
It's the zombie coffee mode.
Essentially.
Okay.
Very me-coded.
He is most active towards the evening.
In a sense, very similar to Sapphire.
and just double check, no one approaches Corvus at all. They leave him alone.
Every once in a while, Willow will give you a nod.
Yeah, I imagine.
Like mutual respect.
It's like a silent thing of both go to the fire, both start the fire, both. Basically, I always imagine Corvus is the guy who preps the fire, cooks, and hits the firewood. I imagine.
There is at one point where you're a little too rough with the fire, and she will stop you and do it herself to ignite it.
Oh, I don't like that.
You can tell that she is a lot better at it than you are.
I don't care if she's. I watch fine. I think as a little bit he just crouches too close. The way Corvus gets close to people, watches her technique. He can learn. That's fine. If someone snatches things from him, he is not the most.
You know, you can always just fire punch the fire.
We are not using flashy spells to light a campfire. Did you not learn your lesson from last time? This is why we don't trust you to light the fire.
I'll do it again.
Do not.
One day, Corvus will forget to say he lights the fire. I'm going to light the fire with firebolt.
Anyway,
Actually, if I may pull him, because that thing of her taking the fire over from Corvus, since it's his main job.
it's not so much that she takes the fire; it's that she takes a starter.
Yeah, but it was a start. Something from Corvus's hand.
No, she has her own. She just will stop you.
I ask what exactly the problem.
Not too rough with it.
How so?
It takes too long for the fire to ignite. Damages your hands with how quickly you use the starter.
I don't. If it does, I don't feel it anymore.
Because you've done it for so long.
That's not a problem.
It is.
Ow.
Fire is an important part of nature.
I'm aware of that.
It is important to respect it like any other part of nature.
As I do.
Then you should not be rough when coaxing it out.
One starts a fire tells you a lot about them. Some are lazy. Some rush. Get it done. If I don't have fire, I freeze.
With haste comes poor choices. With poor choices, disasters.
I'm always respectful of the fire.
She takes a breath and puts her starter away. Forgive me.
I have nothing to forgive. Simply have a different understanding of fire than I do.
I understand the spirits that preside over it. They are
I'm
beautiful,
insulting those
but
spirits.
dangerous.
And I am insulting those spirits.
I do not know, but I fear if you do.
Pulls out his starter again. And show me. Fire has been an ally to me for a while. I would hate for it to think of me as rude.
She'll nod, and she will show you exactly the difference she takes with it. First of all, describe to me how Corvus does, in fact, light a fire.
Okay, so he gets sticks. He uses a knife to get basically to shave some wood so that it becomes a tinder. And then using his tinder box, which we have, which is it's got like a flint and piece of metal. He roughly strikes into the dry tinder, waits for it to smoke, and then will often carefully blows into it to reignite it, or add more tinder depending on situation. Standard, but it may be a little aggressive with it, but it's sort of aggressive to get the spark going.
So what she does is she essentially puts the tinder.
Sorry, the best way to explain it, Corvus is, as he is in fighting, Corvus is quick and decisive in action.
Mm-hmm. It takes her a little longer to set up the tinder and the fire. Like, she actually takes care to take the pieces of wood and put them over the tinder. The tinder is the first thing she places down. And then she gets her starter, her flint, really, really close, to a point where you're almost concerned she might ignite herself if she isn't careful. And does 3 very quick and very rapid strokes with it. And then laying down one very long and gentle blow. And it does ignite. Small at first, but it grows rather quickly.
Also places hand close to the fire, almost dangerously close. And with his thing, he'll try to almost like he has been with the world, resonating with it. He tries to resonate with the fire to see if there's feels like any different.
It feels very different compared to what you're used to. Trying to
I guess this
resonate
is
specifically with the
more
fire.
a spiritual element to fire than it is the actual war. They both create heat. Would be like how most people would interpret fire. It's like I guess it's like more like a spirit. There is like a spiritual difference.
With this fire specifically, yes.
Okay, would it feel kinder? Would it feel more controlled, or would it feel?
It
like...
feels largely indifferent, but satiated.
I see. Yeah, fire being indifferent makes sense. Corvus holds his hand there while the fire slowly grows. No fear of it. Once it gets to a certain point, he just like takes his hand away. So like, basically, like, to the point it would definitely burn him. His hand away.
Mm-hmm.
Understanding the flame and its process of growing.
You learn quickly.
Had to.
Will you still not accept my bargain?
Something tells me the reasons we'll give our names are different.
The name is
The
something
name?
earned.
A name is not something worth having.
Fucking Christ.
On that I cannot agree.
He falls back to conversations he's had with Cheese and kind of almost like an entire muscle, isn't all his muscles tense up at once. He has to like manually relax them. Spits into his hand, clean it off, and holds it out to her.
She watches you do that. Takes her hand, does the same, spitting into it to clean it off, almost like she's copying what you did. Actually, exactly like she's copying what you did.
Yeah.
And holds her hand out as well.
As he grasps it, he says, "It's cool."
And mine is Willow Song. I respect your reverence. And I will remember.
If you do not respect nature, it will not respect you. Fire is as much a part of nature as anything else.
As are we.
I'm well aware of that.
That is why I choose to respect you. And hope you do the same. And with that, she will leave.
It's just the fire for a little bit. Not fully sure he understands everything. He's been shown. He's trying to. The heat feels nice.
Mm-hmm. But I think we will end off our session with you all entering Waterdeep and parting ways with the other group.
Or the forest.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Will we be able to do text RPs if we come up with anything for during the
You will.
Yay!
I'll be in the woods, so bye everyone.
Bye!
I'll bring you back a boar pelt.
One more
Bye.
session of anticipation, Marin.
Yeah, fuck you.
I told you about that, what, a month ago?
Bro, I have a life, okay? I forget about things.
I know, but every time we have these, I get to remind you.
All right.
All right. And with that, we will end it here for today. As always, have a good morning, good afternoon, and good evening wherever you are. And remember to stay frosty. For those of you watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the videos, and ring that notification bell to get more content like this in the future. And if you support the channel or our artists, please view the links down in the description below.